Hey, it's James, Father's Rights and Resource, hashtag how I got custody. So do you know what Res Judicata or Res Judicata has been pronounced a couple different ways? Collateral Estoppel and Judicial Estoppel are? You should. If you got a consult with me, you'd learn that stuff. People don't want to get a consult with me. People want to get a consult with me after their case gets totally screwed, totally tanked, totally messed up, and then after they're way behind the 8 ball, then they want to get a consult. Then they only want to do a 20-minute consult, and the 20-minute segments are set up for somebody who has like one quickie question. Your case is a total mess, and you want 20 minutes with me, and you just got done spending $50,000 on an attorney for, 20 hours of work or whatever. And you're all penny pinching about 20 minutes with me, and you need to learn way more than what you even intend on learning. Anyway, this doesn't make any sense. You can't go to a job and learn one of the 20 responsibilities of a job. You can't take a course in college and show up to class for 20 minutes and then show up at the final at the end of the semester. Like, you guys don't do stuff that don't make any damn sense. Anyway, let me talk about these legal doctrines. Since everybody just wants some free help and free information, you're not even going to apply in court anyway. I'm doing this for the 1, 2, or 5 people out there in America that are actually going to listen to me and actually do something about it. So, if any of you have heard about double jeopardy, you can't be prosecuted for the same crime twice. We got rid of that because I think in old Europe, they used to prosecute somebody, they get found innocent, prosecute them again, found innocent. They used to have hearings without notifying somebody and serving them too. That's why we have some of the due process provisions that we have in America. As much as people rank on America and the judicial system, there's great principles in there that we need to follow. We just don't follow them all the time because corrupt, narcissistic, sociopath demons run the court system, because regular good people sit back and watch while evil people take over the government, the presidency, Congress, and the judiciary and the legislatures. That's how evil people do it. It's only a few hundred evil people that destroy a whole country. They get into positions of power. While good people just sit around and play numbnuts and get soft and don't have their guard up. In Europe, I saw this one article. In Europe, there's one time a judge took a bribe. A judge took a bribe on a court case. I can't remember the nature of it. But when the citizens of the people found out, this is kind of in old Europe, a judge took a bribe and they filleted the judge. They skinned him alive because they realized that you're supposed to be doing justice, and that traitor stuff that goes on in America every day that we get away with, mafia-like bullcrap. They didn't tolerate it like, that was a whole nother world back then. They weren't as civilized as we are with our little... Everything's so fake in the world. And everybody tries to play nice and not be violent and all this stuff and all delicate and sweet, not hurt anybody's feelings, but they're really vicious and savage with the court rulings and with the soft, passive-aggressive stuff. Anyway, so you can't be prosecuted for the same crime twice. It's double jeopardy after you're found innocent, like, the famous O.J. Simpson case. They can never try him again for murder of Nicole Brown Simpson because he was found innocent, okay? That's why if everybody would just take their domestic violence criminal case to trial, this court system would not be able to stand. They have to get rid of 99% of the cases. They can't follow through with all the cases all the way to trial. That's why they scare you guys into copping a plea. In any case, so I got that out of the way. Double jeopardy. Hopefully you heard about that. There's a similar principle in civil court. You can't relitigate something you already litigated. For example, if you go through a divorce and a wife forgets, oh yeah, I should have got alimony. I'm out here broke 8 months later. Let me go back and motion the court for alimony. Well, you already had a trial for your divorce. You didn't negotiate alimony, or let's say you fought for alimony and then you lost. You can't go back and relitigate that again and say, oh, well, I'm really tired and frustrated and financially strapped, so I need the court to give me alimony this time. It's too late. You already litigated. You cannot relitigate it. And let's say, so that's a thing called collateral estoppel. You are, in the way I remember it in my own head, you are estopped. E-S-T-O-P-P-E-L. You are stopped from creating collateral damage and, all the, collateral damage in the war is like, there's a bomb and then it goes out and there's collateral damage. When you go to court, it collaterally, there's damage to other people. Like they have to go to court and defend themselves and waste time and spend money and energy on that. So it's collateral estoppel. You're stopped from creating collateral damage to everybody and bringing them back to court for the same thing again. So that's the example. If you lost the alimony case and then you went back to court and you asked for alimony again. Now, if you forgot to ask about alimony and you went through a divorce trial, that's where res judicata or res judicata kicks in. R-E-S-J-U-D-I-C-A-T-A. It's an 800-year-old common law doctrine that goes back to old Europe. So there's some things that have carried over from Europe that we follow. Some things that they did crazy in Europe, and that's why we have the Constitution in different countries or whatever. So, so res judicata says, if you had the chance to bring something up that happened back at that time, like I'm in need of alimony, or let's say you go and get a restraining order against somebody, you try and get a restraining order against somebody, and you lose, and then you go back to court and say, well, they harassed me last year, and they're harassing me again this year. You can only talk about the new stuff. You can't relitigate the last stuff. But res judicata says, if you were in court for a divorce trial and you forgot to ask to split the property, or you forgot to ask for alimony, or you forgot to ask for this or that. So on res judicata, tomato, tomato. If you had a chance to litigate and you didn't litigate, that's not up for litigation. So that's to prevent just continue like, oh, I forgot to do this, let me go back to court. Oh, I forgot to do that, let me go back to court. You have a chance in court to bring up all your stuff. You didn't bring it up, that's too bad. And then judicial estoppel is just a doctrine or a policy to follow to protect the judiciary or the judicial branch from having to waste taxpayer funds, time, and energy on something that somebody already litigated. So there's a legal doctrine to protect the judges. So collateral estoppel is to protect the parties from having to be dragged in about stuff they already litigated. That collateral damage. Judicial estoppel is say, hey, look, the judge already did this. We already had a court hearing. You had a full hearing. The judge shouldn't have to waste time and energy on you again. Then res judicata says, look, if you had a chance to bring something up and you did not bring it up, you blew your shot. You're not going to bring up something from, let's say something from last September, 2022. You were in court in October and you're like, oh, I forgot to bring that up. Let me go back and try and get a protection order because I forgot to mention in my last protection order hearing that they also texted me on a day I didn't want them to. You had your chance to bring in all your evidence in October. You had your chance back there to bring that up. If you missed it, that's your fault. You don't get to come back to court and bring and say, oh, think about it. You can keep perpetually bringing somebody to court over and over and over. Oh, I forgot this part. Oh, let me do another petition for a restraining order. I forgot that part. Or let me go back for alimony because I'm really, really broke now. Well, you should have demonstrated it back then that you need it. So, doctrines that stop relitigation. So, if your ex is taking you back for a modification, you already went to a original trial and they're saying, oh yeah, he was abusive during the relationship. That's not up for relitigation. She had her chance to do it. Now, if you settle out of court at mediation, the jury or trial or the judge, we don't have a jury in court, the judge is the jury, the judge never had a chance to look at the evidence. So there's an exception to that. But if you went to trial or had a full-blown hearing, they don't get to keep relitigating it. Res judicata, well, first of all, collateral estoppel, then judicial estoppel, then res judicata. You're welcome.